Okay, let's unpack this.
Right.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into your sources on the electric vehicle revolution.
Yep. Looking at where things stand now and maybe where they're headed.
Exactly. We've got your notes here, covers quite a bit. The current buzz, the key
The
players.
pros and cons, definitely. And a peek at the future, too.
Yeah, the goal is really to give you, the listener, a clear, insightful view on this huge shift in, well, how we get around.
And what jumps out right away from the notes is 2024, global electric car sales. They went over 10 million units.
10 million. Wow.
Yeah, it's significant.
Yeah.
And one company name keeps popping up as a major force behind that.
Tesla, I imagine?
You got it.
Yeah.
This isn't just a small jump. It really signals that EVs are, moving out of that niche space.
Definitely mainstreaming. Your sources really seem to zero in on Tesla's role.
They do, especially models like the Model 3 and Model S.
The Model 3, that's the one credited with making EVs more accessible, right?
Oh.
Because of the price point and performance.
Precisely. That blend was key. Plus, the notes highlight their innovations. High-capacity batteries, the software.
And their own charging network. That was a big deal.
A huge deal.
So here's the interesting bit. How did one company manage to have such a massive impact?
Well, I think if you look at the big picture, their early, really heavy investment in those core things, the batteries, the software, building out that charging infrastructure.
They created the whole package almost.
Exactly. It made it very appealing. And that early lead gave them massive brand recognition and a big slice of the market early on.
Okay, so let's dig into the why. Why this big electric push now? Your sources list the advantages pretty clearly.
Yeah, the big one is emissions, or lack there.
Zero tailpipe emissions. We should talk about what that actually means for air quality, especially in cities.
It's a major factor. And you highlighted that statistic, about a 69% reduction in life cycle CO2 emissions compared to diesel.
Yeah, roughly 69%. That's a compelling number. Life cycle, though, that includes manufacturing.
It does. And that's important. It makes you think about how we measure the impact. There was an environmental cost to making the batteries.
Right, we'll get to the challenges.
But that big drop in emissions over the car's life, like the notes say, it really shows the long-term win, especially for urban air.
Okay. And another key point is energy efficiency. EVs are way more efficient.
Oh, absolutely. Around 70% of the battery's energy actually moves the car.
70%. Wow, compared to internal combustion engines?
Yeah, traditional engines are much lower, maybe 20–24% efficient at the wheels.
That's a huge difference. What does that mean practically? Less energy used.
Basically, yes. Less energy needed to go the same distance,
Yeah.
which leads to another advantage.
Lower running costs.
Bingo. Less maintenance needed, fewer moving parts.
No oil changes.
Right. No exhaust systems to fix, and obviously no gasoline costs. Your notes really emphasize those savings.
Yeah, and that directly hits the owner's wallet. So lower fuel bills, lower repair bills, it adds up.
It really does over the life of the car.
Okay, but it can't all be smooth sailing. Every big shift has hurdles.
True.
And your notes bring up the environmental side of battery production, getting the raw materials, the manufacturing.
Yep, that's definitely a challenge being discussed and worked on. Extracting lithium, cobalt.
But importantly, the sources also mention this is offset, right? After a certain number of kilometers.
Correct. The estimate is around 30,000 to 50,000 kilometers. After that point, the lower running emissions start to outweigh the initial production impact.
So it gives a more balanced picture. It's not zero impact, but it's better long term.
Exactly. You have to look at the entire life cycle. And there's a lot of research going into cleaner production and recycling those batteries, too.
Good point. What other challenges did the sources mention? Range? Charging time?
Yeah. Autonomy range and charging times are still concerns for some buyers.
Although the notes add the caveat that these are getting better all the time.
Constantly improving. Battery tech is advancing fast, more energy density, faster charging capabilities.
And the charging infrastructure itself is expanding, presumably.
Definitely. More stations, faster chargers are being installed.
Okay, and the initial cost. EVs used to be quite a bit more expensive up front.
Who often still are compared to equivalent petrol models, but that gap is closing.
Your notes suggest it's decreasing. Why is that? Production scale.
That's a big part of it. Economies of scale, the more you make, the cheaper each one becomes. Plus, battery costs are coming down.
And incentives. Government help.
Crucial. Tax breaks, purchase bonuses. They really help bridge that initial price gap for consumers.
So what does this mean for affordability overall? When do EVs become the obvious choice for, everyone?
It's moving in that direction. As prices drop, range increases, charging gets easier, and incentives remain, you reach a tipping point.
Your notes actually have a specific example. Italy.
Yeah, it highlights Italy. There's
Mhm.
been significant growth in charging stations there.
Driven by public and private money.
Both, yes.
Yeah.
And the government has incentives, bonuses, tax breaks, which are speeding things up.
And are Italian consumers responding?
Apparently, yes. The notes mention growing interest. People are recognizing the long-term benefits, environmental and financial.
So it's a good case study of how this global trend actually plays out locally?
Exactly. It shows that
Yeah.
combination. You
Yeah.
need the infrastructure build-out, supportive policies, and growing consumer awareness. It's that mix.
Okay, looking beyond the present, your sources suggest electric cars are just the beginning.
Seems that way. The next potential revolution mentioned is self-driving cars.
Autonomous vehicles. It's fascinating to think how those two technologies, electric and autonomous, might combine.
Oh, absolutely. It could completely reshape mobility. Daily commutes, logistics, maybe even city design.
And it doesn't stop there. The notes mention even more futuristic stuff.
Well, yeah. Emerging tech, like solar-powered cars.
Other cars. Really?
Prototypes exist. And even flying cars are mentioned. Prototypes being shown, development happening.
Flying cars. Okay, now that really sparks the imagination. Maybe still a ways off for mainstream use.
Probably quite a way off, but it shows the drive for innovation is still incredibly strong. What seemed like science fiction is becoming, well, tangible prototypes at least.
And backing all this innovation is investment, right? Both new companies and the traditional automakers.
Yes, huge investment pouring into the sector. That competition drives innovation faster and gives consumers more choice.
That makes sense. And the final point mentioned is linking EVs to the bigger picture. Renewable energy, circular economy.
Crucial point. For this to be truly sustainable long-term, it needs integration. Powering EVs with clean energy, recycling components effectively.
So it's not just about the car itself.
Not at all. It's the whole ecosystem. The energy grid, material sourcing, recycling. That holistic view is fundamental for genuine sustainable mobility.
Right. So wrapping this up, we've covered a lot based on your sources. From where EVs are now, dominating sales growth,
To the challenges still being tackled, like batteries and costs.
and looking ahead to autonomous tech, maybe even flying cars, and this whole ecosystem idea.
It's clearly a really dynamic field, changing fast, big implications for, well, everything. Environment, tech, how we live and move.
Which brings us to the question for you, listening. After hearing all this, reflecting on the sources, what part of this electric transition stands out most to you? What seems most compelling? Or maybe most concerning?
Yeah, the notes ended with an invitation for you to consider your own view. We'd echo that. What are your takeaways from this deep dive into electric mobility's future?
We really want to know what you think.
Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going.
And if you found this useful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this one.